straight up, accelerating. From Particle from all over Europe. Now what's it say? The right wing is made in Spain, the left wing is made in Italy, the rear fuselage is made in Germany, the forward fuselage is began to be developed back in the late 1920s. Spanish cameraman and a Wanderlatier developed the concept. And it's been picked up in this country by Avro, A.B. Road, later on to build a Lancaster.
Here, great location, boys.
An A.B. Road aircraft fuselage, such as Avro 504, is simply converted for a rotor development. They also developed a thing called the Avro rotor, which was tested and used by at that time, Army Air in the late 1930s, the battlefield reconnaissance made exclusively off the top of the carbon fibre and glass fibre. Steel spars over the centre of the top rotor.
Looks like it's
Display manager this season. It is a pleasure to display the world to you all today. The chief display pilot is Flight Lieutenant Bob Hughes. He was born in Carmarthen, South Wales, and started his flying career in the Royal Air Force in 1989, flying the DC-10 out of RAF Tutor, and then as a search and rescue pilot on the Sea-King. Bob is now pushing negative 2G level the aircraft upside down for the inverted pass. This is Bob's first year with the chief display. He is operating at a base height of 500 feet, except the two final passes at 300 feet. The next two manoeuvres are the wing over and the ballistic roll, which Bob can use to gain energy for the next part of the sequence. The ballistic rolls are flown towards you in an off-crowd ring and away from you in a non-crowd ring. When not displaying, Bob is a qualified flying instructor on 115 Quadrant Base at RAF Whispering, where he trains the future generation of Royal Air Force pilots, as well as converting frontline pilots into qualified flying instructors. During his varied career, Bob has amassed over 8,000 upwards. This prevents him from descending towards the ground. The Tutor has a top speed of 312 miles per hour and can achieve maximum positive 6G, meaning that the pilot is subjected to forces 6 times stronger than gravity. Next we have another wing over, a combined pitch and rolling over, used to turn the flight path through 180 degrees. You'll notice that every wing over is slightly different as Bob carefully selects his flight path, based on the differing wind conditions and aircraft energy states. Bob's now coming round and will roll 90 degrees while pointing straight up. This is before he completes a stall turn at almost zero airspeed. The two 90-degree turns allow Bob to continue in the same direction.
stall. Vintage type ball.
The
balls man is like fits really good.
Primarily flying university life course students and RAF Air Cadets. There are 13 air flight instructors today that offer flights for up to 20,000 cadets each year, and this could be you if you are between 12 and 17.
Without doubt, one of the latest versions of a whole range of successful transport aircraft to come out of the CASA factory down near Sevilla in Spain. And you can see here, this one literally from set. Remarkably agile for such a big aircraft. This particular airplane, by AIRSHOW, as a maritime patrol aircraft, often going out to sea, supporting lifeboat operations in search and rescue missions, but also, of course, monitoring coastal pollution, oceanic pollution, and, of course, fisheries protection. So this aircraft equipped with all kinds of sensors, radar, infrared, CCTV, just about everything. So they can see us very well at the moment, I'd imagine, inside that fuselage. You can see a classic military transport shape of the rear fuselage. rear fuselage cants upwards quite steeply. That's because the entire back, the bottom half of the fuselage, can literally lower down. It's a great big ramp loading door, because in its military transport role, you can get an awful lot of vehicles and troops and things like that inside this aircraft up that rear ramp. The 295 that you see here was developed from the earlier 235, and indeed, the Irish Air Corps had the 235 in service up until last year when these aircraft replaced them. As I said, they've only been in service since June last year, so this is a brand new aircraft. And it really is cranking it around for a big heavy transport. That's quite something. 295 being flown for us today by Commander Ken Byrne and Captain Declan Hickey. And many thanks to them for coming up from the south. I've never actually seen one before. Far more manoeuvrable than I gave it credit for as a transport aeroplane. Enormous amount of horsepower on this now. A pair of Pratt Company PW127G turboprop engines, each producing 2,919 horsepower. Gives the aircraft a cruising speed of 300 knots. Now that's very important in this machine because it's going a long way out to sea. It might be looking for people from a shipwreck, people from a sunken craft, and that means it's got to be able to get there quickly. And with this kind of cruise speed, it certainly can. The military version of this aircraft also has a hidden secret because underneath the wing are 6 hard points. Now you can put extra fuel tanks or you can put all kinds of weapons quietly on the bottom of that aeroplane. There's a number of air forces who use this overseas, including the Thai and the Indonesian Air Force, who both use it not only for maritime patrol, but also for anti-piracy missions. Still got a problem with pirates down there. Basic casement, this is one of 2 aircraft belonging to the Irish Air Corps. It's a very rare aeroplane indeed, a real pleasure to see them here. Traditional way of saying goodbye by pilots, check the wings. But a rare and a lucky thing, I look the way the shadow passed over the cliff there, that was beautiful. I think somebody got a picture of that. So many thanks to Ken Byrne and Declan Hickey for bringing us that very rare aeroplane. As I said, never seen one of those before. As I said, we marked it up especially in the marking of the 502 because they were not only the first all auxiliary air force squadron to be formed back in 1935, they were also the first to be operational on jet fighters. And that was a time when the auxiliary forces in this country had frontline equipment. This is an amazing thing. Can you imagine being a part-time auxiliary pilot, if you like, and being allowed to fly this?
Wow.
Every jet fighter would be all metal construction, metal skins, metal frames, not a bit of it. Because de Havilland had learned so much about moulded plywood structures building the mosquitoes through the Second World War, the entire fuselage, that's from the cockpit, from the nose right the way through to the jet exhaust, because the jet is mounted in the middle of the wing, in the middle of the fuselage, is made of molded plywood. Makes it very light, but also produces a beautifully streamlined shape. this particular configuration, the aircraft has long-range drop packs under the wing. But it can also carry anything up to 1,000 pounds of bombs for ground attack duty, or indeed rocket projectiles, air-to-ground rockets, depending on what sort of target you're after. But mounted under the fuselage, literally under your feet, the muzzles stick out underneath the rudder pedals, which you believe when you sit in the cockpit, which makes it quite interesting when you fire them. Is what became the standard armament of the RAF, 4 20mm cannons. Making sure that the aircraft that's coming into shooting at a target, not at the aircraft that's shooting. And a very important job to the observer in the back there. Now we've seen how slowly this aeroplane can fly, and that was its major design feature, if you like, because this was originally intended for use by the US Army in Vietnam. They discovered that it was very nice having fast jets and all this sort of thing, but over the jungle, you couldn't really see where the enemy forces were. So they had to use a much lower powered, slower aeroplane called a FAT, Forward Air Controller. And indeed, that's what this aeroplane was for. It was flying close to the jungle canopy very slowly, looking for enemy forces. It would then report their position and mark their position with smoke rockets. Rockets that could be fired from pods under the wings that would then mark the target for the much faster jets to come in and bomb. It was so good at this, they decided, well, why not let it carry the weapons itself? So it was armed with a variety of machine guns and cannons mounted in various versions of it on the fuselage, but it could also carry anything up to 6 hard points under the wing, anything up to 6,000 pounds of weapons, bombs, rockets, missiles, all kinds of things, and actually find the enemy forces that do the strike on it itself. So being able to fly slowly, go as close as that, you saw it in landing configuration there with the undercarriage down, was a very, very important part of the, if you like, the design ethos behind this, the reason behind this aeroplane. And boy, can it fly slowly. It's also actually remarkably fast. You wouldn't believe it looking at it right here and there. 290 miles an hour this is capable of full power. Give me a feel for that power there. Very carrying. Navy Harvard. Harvard was used by the US Air Force, the US Navy. I do beg your pardon, the US Army Air Corps as it was then. The Army Air Corps during the Second World War before it became the US Air Force. You can hear a great big growly motor on the front. Now that is a Pratt & Whitney R1340 Wasp. And it produces 600 horsepower, but that is not the noise you're going to hear, believe it or not. McLaren announcing his arrival in the only way a Harvard can. What you just heard wasn't the sound of the engine, that was the sound of the propeller tips going supersonic. At a very short throw propeller that, it was very, very fast. By that 30-40 watts in the nose. Direct drive. That means the cockpit, certain aspects, certain speed. Straight into that, turning away from the seafront. With arrival. Nice edge flight, so top of the aircraft. These are carbon fibre and glass fibre, very much lighter, but very much stronger, which means which really throws it out versus flight here. A bit of slip roll on the way up there. Holding it round in the circle upside down. And the lead aircraft goes the barrel, and standing on top of his wing is a wing walker called Kirsten's PORTRUSH. The number 2 aircraft is Brian Corn, joined on top of the wing by Emma Broadbent.
How are they being controlled?
Now what you're going to see is these rigs that they're attached to the wing and quality. Because right here, they swing the right way up and put their arms back up.
There's one on their wings.
A very old friend of mine was one of the first wing walkers.
Right on the top.
And then Helen Kemper. She said, you never ever put your arms straight up because the slipstream will blast your arm back and dislocate your shoulder. So you always put your arm up forwards to take the weight, if you like, of the slipstream of the aircraft as the air rushing past you at 200 miles an hour. She said, your words display she never did. But when it was either rain, in which case she got soaked and battered and bruised, or hailing, in which case she literally got bruised from head to foot. Some remarkable young ladies standing on top of the aircraft. Big T formation there. Stearman biplane, originally designed by the Stearman Company, later taken over by Boeing. And it was designed as a multi-purpose biplane that was adopted by the US Army Air Corps as its primary trainer. 220 horsepower is quite powerful enough, quite big and heavy, unlike the British equivalent, the Tiger Bomb. So this was really a solid aeroplane for young pilots to flying on. The crop spray at the front cockpit would be filled with a tank with all kinds of agricultural chemicals in there, spray them out of bars or back of top of the wing. There's a great many other methods of doing that, and they're used by the US Naval. So again, a really utility aircraft, but it is as a trainer. There's the tank boat station, which is the Simon Davis has been flying for the company for nearly 5 years now. Sorry, over 5 years now, beg your brother. And they've got this display down to absolutely perfect timing. There's some very close crosses coming up. Again, back to the Empire Air Training Scheme. Later these ended up training RAF pilots.
They're so
Also
brilliant.
parts of the Royal Canadian Air Force and all the other Commonwealth Air Forces. Moving away on the B-axis. Just for orientation, the A-axis of an air display was right to left in front of you, the B-axis runs towards and away from you from the centre point. And then moved out on the B-axis and joined back into formation. Back into formation. Now the swiveling rig, but you can see attached to this aircraft, was originally designed in America.
The sound on a daily basis, just that sound of the sea, I love it. Yeah, even on a say they're not in their winches. They're not in the winches.
Would I do that? No, I
They've now gone forward.
They're only attached to the aircraft by 1 foot and 1 hand in that pose, which that's getting a little risky for me, thank you. Probably the ultimate fusion aeroplane is the X-13 for next generation.
That and some rip.
Instead of the original 300 horsepower motor, he's got 330. And Tom started his display into slick rolling down the 45. Like a fishbowl. You can see in all directions, pulling up to the vertical, getting as high as the jet piston and going into the thing we call the monster back, decaying that into a torque roll, sliding backwards into a tail slide, straight out of the bottom.
He actually turned off his engine there.
This aeroplane is 300 horse, and it weighs just over £1,000, just over. I think it's 1,002 or something like that. Oh, knife edge flick. Basically, we booted on full rudder and let the aircraft go sideways. and push the stick all the way forward so the aircraft goes end over end, flying sideways. If you ever wonder what your washing feels like in your tumble dryer, this is one way to find out. I don't recommend that, by the way. Please don't get it in your tumble dryer. Knife edge flick, hard knife edge flick, fully stalled, full back stick, literally stopping the aircraft in mid-air in the middle of the manoeuvre. Oh my God. He's going out to about plus 9 G there, so 9 times the force of gravity working on his body. Back to the vertical, long stroke of vertical. 80 knots, full rudder to let it half hammer around, let it carry out back to the diving 49. That fish bowl he's sitting on is made of polycarbonate. The cockpit canopy on this aircraft alone costs over 35 pounds. So when you invite people to fly, and you invite young ladies to fly, because this is a two-seat aircraft, you never ever let them wear diamond rings, because when they put their hands up in shrieks of delight as you're doing manoeuvres, they can scratch that canopy. £35 a pound a pop is no joke. Most definitely music.
Probably there's a lot more creaks and cranks every time it turns.
Full Rolls-Royce Merlin, staying around about 1,600 horsepower each. And the Lancaster Bomber.
Mummy, can you
all the
move?
way to Berlin. Later on in the war, Wallace developed the £12,000 and £22,000 tall boy Grand Slam earthquake bombs. And the Lancaster was the only aircraft that could carry these 5 and 10 ton bombs. Amazingly powerful. Today. Flight Lieutenant Paul Burning Wise, as he's known, Neil Whitehead, based at RAF Tutor in Lincolnshire, back with the Memorial Flight, just the Lancaster, but Dakota. I think 6 Spitfires, 2 Hurricanes, and a pair of Chipmunks.
My mum and dad would have been around the time of the second
I
remember just they knew the sound. It was Luftwaffe, what was
again with the flying train.
or American. Yeah. Just got so used to it. You know,
Quite clearly here, the 3 turrets.
well, they're both passed away now.
Machine guns in the nose,
But
speed up a position.
they would be what?
4 sail turrets.
82,
3
83.
turrets built by Fraser Nash.
Yeah, 82 and 83, a year apart. So,
Gave the Lancaster's tremendous
the
protection.
shine at home.
Later models,
Spencer's
there's had a
Mountain
ventral
These others
system
are
on the bomb base.
American
Flying
plane.
downwards
I
and
don't know what makeup was, but first think it. Foot roll down forward. Newcastle was this.
Amazing, really. Roy Chadwick, reason Lancaster was so successful, Roy Chadwick started 30-foot long hole and built an aeroplane over it, over the bomb base. Sterling power had such a reaction catastrophic operator. This is the size of large bombers it carried. No such problem on the Lancaster. Basically, the bomb bay was uninterrupted from push to back.
Is it a winner?
Short wave spin, was it?